Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, I am from Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Today, would like to share our paper entitled about Internationalization of Higher Education at the Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, special focus on the International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance. I am Dimas Bagus Wiranatakusuma, the Director of the International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance, and also PIC of Internationalization and Collaboration under Faculty of Economic and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Jakarta. In this SPPT 2022 at University Saint Islam Malaysia, we'll share our humble experience how to manage the internationalization agenda and activities at university level. On this presentation, we would like to share with you 5 parts. The first is about introductions, the second one is about literature review, and the third one, internationalization's experience at IPIEF, and the fourth one, step forwards, and the last but not least is conclusions. Let me start with the introduction part. You see that the internationalization is part of the globalizations. Yeah. In the globalization context, we'll have so many universities or higher education across the world attempts and try to improve the agenda of promoting internationalization agenda, including at University Muhammadiyah Jakarta. So in terms of the internationalizations, some literatures categorize the approach into two main parts. The first is the pragmatic approach, and the second one is the value-based approach. The pragmatic approach here actually is the idea is how to promote the internationalization here, just the matter of staff and students interactions for the internationalization activities. But in terms of the value approach, not only just the internationalizations per se, but also how to make the impact towards the society surrounded with the internationalization processes. So therefore, there is unresolved issue so far. What is the best approach for internationalization actually? Whether we are going to have the values-based or the pragmatic-based approach. Therefore, in this context, we try to look at which one is the best alternative that has been taken so far by the university, in particular by the International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance. And one we have gone through the approach taken by some leading universities based on the QS World Ranking in 2022, based on the subjects of economics and econometrics. We found that top 10 universities around the world, either in the US and the UK, they have already been practicing the approach of internationalization, either pragmatic or the value-based approaches. So it does mean that these top universities based on the QS ranking has been trying to put not only to promote the staff and student exchange programs, but also how they will be making the impact toward the society surrounded the universities itself. So, in the context of UMY, University Muhammadiyah Jakarta, Indonesia, UMY has been taken some strategic roadmaps actually since 2015 until 2040. And based on the roadmap that has been made by university, in the second phase of the development process right now, still since 2020 to 2025, UMY attempts to have or to reach the excellent research university in ASEAN. In order to reach this approach or goals, the university tries to promote the internationalization in the faculty and department levels. In the context of internationalization in department level, so the university encourages the departments to have international class or international program, and one of the international program that head by the university called International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance, or IPIEF. Under Department of Economics, Faculty of Economic and Business UMY. And this international program on IPF in particular, we do have so many activities such as diverse enough in student and lectures, extensive partnership, active internationalization programs, integration curriculum with the global competence in Islamic economics and finance, as well as the last is staff competency improvements. And the question remains whether the global university's approach to internationalization here is try to integrate not only the global competency but also the international community impacts. So this remains a question, And also the second issue is that whether the global competency integrated with the international community impact here is in line with the values that being put in the process of the internationalizations. In other words, how to make the global competency, how to make the internationalization here covered by the values that based on the religious one. So in this context, the UMY, in particular our program IPF call, so how to balance between the pragmatic and value-based approaches so that it will have the impact nationally and internationally and based on the religious or Islamic values. Let me see some literatures here. So some literatures here, they said that in order to make internationalization process come forwards, they have to have the integration between support, and also support in terms of the government and support in terms of the university per se. So in other words, the strategic to improve the internationalization in the context of university must have some criteria. The first is the clear strategy, sufficient resources, and autonomy in the university itself, and supported by the favorable immigration policy, funding from university, and clear internationalization policy given by the government itself. So these two integration being part and parcel how to make the internationalization here become progressive. And the next one is how to measure or what the parameters to measure the internationalizations. So based on the organization called TSA, QS, and multi-rank, so they have several instruments. The first is in terms of composition of international students, and the second one is composition of international staff, and the third one composition of the international diversity, and fourth one the numbers of inbound and outbound students mobility, and the fifth one international student supports such as religious facilities, and the last but not least is international joint publications. So these criteria being part and parcel of how to promote the competency for internationalizations, whereby covering the interculturally competent staff and also student itself. And in terms of another literature also said about the design, after we discussed about the parameter, the design for the impacting internationalizations. So how to make the internationalization here have the impact to the society. So in this regard, based on the literature survey that we did, we found that the core base here is the research and education, whereby these two items must be the first beginning, the one that must be stressed by the university's policy. And this one must be organized by staff, students, and alumni, and they are participating actively or engaging in that one. And in the end of the day, this one will be applied to the private sectors, public sectors, third sectors, and the community at large. So in other words, to make this the impact of the internationalization to the society, the university must have four criteria. The first is the confined, yeah. The second one is commercializations. The third one is the challenge, and the fourth one is collaborations. So these four items, if it is being included into single items identity, we will try to make the impact to this society. And let me go to the next part about the internationalization itself and the international program that we have. You see that the international program that UMY or university has actually based on the department levels. So every single department at UMY, they have to build the program called international class. This international class, in the context of our departments, economic departments, called International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance, or IPIEF. And this IPIEF, based on our observation or SWOT analysis, they have some strength and also some weaknesses, opportunity and threats. So in terms of the strength and weakness, the international program here has been managed by professional staff and also accredited by the Ministry of Education with the excellence standard or excellence levels. But in terms of the weakness here, we're still lacking in terms of the publications, joint research, and also in terms of the international exposures, yeah, for among our lecturers and students. However, in terms of the opportunity that we had, the university so far, in terms of leadership and managerials, very supportive for the internationalization agenda. For example, the leaders, the top managers at university, they will encourage the staff or students to go overseas, either for taking the master degree, PhD degrees, but also in terms of the partnership. And in terms of funding as well, the university gives very much funding for those who are eager to have more collaborations in terms of the research and publications. And however, in terms of the threat here, we see that the world universities' competitiveness, virtual learning platforms would reduce academic institutions' offline learning activities. So in the midst of pandemic, so many activities conducted in the online mode, so that it may reduce the way how the university promote the capacity of them in order to penetrate the internationalization agenda. And also in terms of the higher qualified university graduate in the labor market, threaten graduate who lack job market skills. It means that somehow the university forgotten about the competency of the graduate itself, yeah, so that it may threaten the competency in the job markets. And also another one is in terms of the international certifications and also international standardization curriculum. So whereby the university right now has been struggling to be standardized and certified internationally by standardized institutions, so that they are qualified and recognized by external environment. So those are the things that we see based on the SWOT analysis become the strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threat. But overall, top of that, we try to create a competitive graduates and stepping towards a reputable international program on Islamic economics and finance in particular. And this one is the roadmap for strategic development that UMY has. As I mentioned before, that in the second phase of development, UMY has been moved to the Research Excellence University toward leading ASEAN University until 2025. So we are now moving to that way, yeah, and being prepared to the second phase of the developments. And in terms of the IPIEF itself, as mentioned before, that it has been established more than 10 years ago, and structurally under Department of Economics, FEB UMY, and has been accredited excellence, yeah, by the Ministry of Higher Education. And in terms of spirit of development, we try to integrate between excellence and Islamic spirit. The excellence here covers how to develop the programs based on scientific traditions, but also in the same time how to integrate between the existing knowledge with Islamic values. And in terms of the lectures or staff, we do have 18 lectures under department, permanent lectures, and consists of the 3 professors, 8 PhD graduates, 5 ongoing PhDs, and 2 master graduates. And in terms of the origin university graduate, come up with from Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Australia, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and Saudi Arabia. So this condition represent that in terms of the staff graduate, we are ready to be more progressive for internationalizations. And this one is the SWOT analysis that we had discussed before. And in order to execute or respond to this SWOT analysis, we come up with the 5 pillars of development, from in terms of academic side, finance side, internationalizations and partnership, student and IIK, and human resource, and also alumni. Let I explain you in details a bit. So in terms of academic pillars here, the program, international program that we're managing right now, try to make the academic to be excellent through research and society empowerment based on the local wisdom. So some work plan has been conducted, such as the workshop on curriculum, workshop on roadmap developments, managing the international journals, and also copyrights and patents. So these are the things that we have been doing so far in order to make this first pillar of academic side to be proponents in terms of the internationalizations. And the second one, in terms of the human resource and alumni, we try to get more staff and also students that have the capacity to be more exposed to internationalizations. On this regard, we try to promote some guest lectures, for example, reciprocally, and then we try to make some activities that can link and match between the need of program here with the partners needs, through for example, development of official website, for example, and also making a regular group of discussion, for example. So this thing, the way how we make the human resource become part and parcel on internationalizations. And also the next one, in terms of the finance one, we try to manage and develop a transparent and accountable financial management. On this regard, we regularly monitoring how to make the link and match between the fund that we have and the activities that we are doing. So in this way, the money flow function concept has been part and parcel how to make the financial here become the one that can support the program for internationalizations. And the next one, the student and IIK pillar. IIK here is Al-Islam ke Muhammadiyahan, because we are under Muhammadiyah umbrella, so we have spirit how to make Muhammadiyah becomes part and parcel of our spirit of developments. So on this regard, we try to promote high qualified students with integrity and morality for the nation developments. So the some example activities is that we try to make the intensive Islamic character building, for example, for the students. And also we have also activities in the curriculum. We have specific in the curriculum called Muhammadiyah course. That must be taken by every single student, and lectures also have regular meeting with the Muhammadiyah committee to be inculcated with the Muhammadiyah values. And the last but not least is that the internationalization and collaborations pillars. So on this regard, we try to promote more active staff and student exchange programs. And we set this program reciprocally. Not only just we send there, but they also send to us, either staff and student activities. And last but not least, how the way forwards. And the way forward here is we try to integrate between the input, process, output, and operational procedure into one single framework here. So in the end of the day, we try to say that to become more internationalized institutions, we have to prepare our student enrollment, we have to prepare our academic process, we have to prepare alumni and cooperations pillars, and we have to have a program that may focus on this all item become reality. The conclusion is globalization forces internationalization. Higher education institutions must set strategies and policies that promote sharing and living impacts. As a committed university to internationalization, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta is working to become an internationally excellent university by 2025, and this spirit must be supported by all units, including the International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance, or IPIEF, which is under Department of Economics, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. And in order to transform the internationalization agenda into reality, the IPIEF has already built the 5 main pillars, namely academic, internationalization and partnership, human resource and alumni, finance, student and Muhammadiyah, and 5.1 is the internationalization itself. So the IPIEF has set goals and monitors them annually in accordance with the internationalizations and the master plan to standardize input, process, output, which is under the stated vision and missions. And internationalization is a must, so that university can actively promote IPIEF, and IPIEF here as one of the internationalization spirit of university is committed to build an excellent international program on Islamic economics and finance in ASEAN by 2025, and focusing on impacts as well as values. Thank you very much for your very kind intentions. May Allah bless us with knowledge and wisdom. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.